Hey guys, it's Kelly. I'm so excited to share this with you. I accidentally discovered how to make a 3D effect with raindrops on a card. It is so cool. There's the picture. It is completely flat. There is absolutely no dimension other than the words and the butterfly there. So I made a tag and I'm using the two stamps from Designs by Rin. And, oh gosh, I love her stamps. I'm always ranting and raving about them. But I decided I was going to use my watercolor crayons. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I want people who have never done any kind of mixed media before to see how easy it is and have a starting point. So my watercolor crayons were, they're Stradler. They were not expensive at all. And I really enjoy using them. And this was kind of what I started out with as far as mixed media, and they're really great. So if you're just starting out, you're a newbie to mixed media, you want to start doing stuff, you're not an artist or anything like took any classes, this is a great way to start. And what that is just the manila file folder that I gessoed, and that's all I did to that paper, and then just cut the corners to make it look like a tag. So I just made my own tag. And I just laid down some colors just to kind of have like an outdoorsy background, because I knew I was going to use a butterfly stamp. So I laid some different shades of blue down, a little bit of water on my brush, and you smear it around. Watercolor crayons are fantastic. I really enjoy using them. So and at the bottom I just used 2 shades of green. And that's only a 12-pack watercolor crayons. Great way to get started, guys, if you have never done any kind of art journaling or mixed media before and you're nervous about it. It's an inexpensive way to start, and you can get some cheap brushes and just start slapping down color. So I got the sky and the crooked background like I wanted it. I like to mix in some brown with my green because in nature there's always patches of dirt with the green grass. So, and I'm just making sure that I dry it all really well. So, and it's kind of crusty, which is fine. So I decided I wanted raindrops, and I wanted to try to do some dimensional raindrops, and that's where my mistake came in. I swear some of my best techniques come from my boo-boos. But that was a black watercolor crayon, and then I'm going to mix it in with white. I'm just coloring it over with white. Just like you would with a regular crayon, just don't color it all the way in. So I'm just kind of like sketching, I guess is how you would say. Because I'm going to want thunderclouds because I want it to be raining. So, and I don't have gray, so I just have black and white, so I just made gray. And here I just dipped my finger in water, put it on my craft sheet, and then just smeared it because I wanted them to be puffy thunderclouds. And the roundness of my finger would work out great. So I'm just going in real slight circular motions with very little water and making myself some thunderclouds. And it's smooth. It moves very smoothly. I mean, it takes very little water, but you have to practice and kind of play with it. That was the first time I did it this way, and I was real pleased with how it turned out. I just got lucky. So, and I just did it random, just kind of how I thought it might look in the background. And there it goes. Starting to already look like what I wanted. Super easy. Totally have a outdoor scene, and it only took just a few colors and just a few minutes. So, and guys, a lot of you already know, but for those that don't know me yet, I am not a professional artist by a long shot. I've never taken an art class, not a single one. I don't know what I'm figuring out as I go, and I'm just doing it. And when I find something cool, I share it with you guys. So, not a professional. But there is the leaf stamp from Rin. And I'll leave links below if you guys are interested in those stamps. It's the Leafy Branch one, and then I also use Seleni. I think that's how you say it. But I'll give you the links to the store if you guys are interested in getting those from Rin. Now she is an artist. So I was messing around with the leaves. I wasn't sure how I was going to use it on my tag, so I tried to emboss the leaf stamp on paper, and I was just playing with it because it was the first time I used it, and it turned out really nice, but it didn't really go with what I wanted to do with it being embossed, and I kind of messed it up a little bit. So, but that is Seleni Moth/Butterfly. And I just used my Versamark and then some blue. It's like a navy blue. It's real pretty, deep, rich blue embossing powder. And I wasn't too worried about leaving little bits on there, you know, because sometimes you've got little bits of embossing powder on there that's going to stay in the background. I wasn't worried because I knew I was going to color this and cut it out. So I tried to clean some of it up, and then sure enough, there I go. I took some of the powder off, so then I had to fix that. No big deal. My Versamark is still wet, so I just slapped it back on there and fixed it right up. And you can see that green stamp where I embossed it. It's so pretty. I love that stamp. I'm going to get a lot of use out of that one. I'm getting a lot of use out of all these stamps. So when I get my camera at a different angle, sometimes it works well this way, sometimes it doesn't. But also, guys, I don't own a single Copic marker. I don't own any. They're so expensive. But I color with lots of different things. But I'm showing you guys here real quick. I sped this up really fast because it takes a while to do this coloring. I'm using a water brush for part of it, and then just paintbrush with water. And I'm taking the color right from the crayon, just like you might do with your gelatos. And I'm testing it out on the white paper because, you know, the color looks one way when it's wet, and then when it dries, it changes to a different shade. So I was finding the shade of blues and reds and orange that I wanted to use. So, and I just put some water on my craft sheet and just grabbed what I needed. And made sure I didn't mix my colors. You got to clean up your colors in between when you switch colors. But this is like the easiest, less stress way of coloring that I thoroughly enjoy this with the watercolor crayons. And you can change it, you know, less water, the more, you know, pigment you get, and the more vibrant that color is. And yeah, I don't know. I really love coloring this way. I need to get some more brushes, some real fine brushes, but I wound up using the regular thin paintbrush because the water brush, I did not stamp this on watercolor paper, it's just on cardstock. So the water brush it just was flowing too much water for me, and I needed to have, you know, like you do with your Copic markers, you grab a different shade and then you have like a darker shade of orange, and you can see how I do the shading there on that butterfly. And I'm just doing it by waiting for it to dry for a little bit and then just using less water and grabbing more of the color, and it's the same effect. Copics are great. I have nothing against them. I just personally just don't have any, but I also know that, gosh, they just cost a fortune. And yeah, I don't know, I don't have all those cute little stamps to color, so maybe later I would get the Copics. But I'm really loving between the gelatos and the watercolor crayons, I'm loving it. So, and paints, of course. So I'm just going to, I think, yeah, red. It's almost fuchsia looking though, but it wound up working out fine. So I just fussy cut that out, and after I dried it, I fussy cut it out. And then I'm just using the black soot distress ink to ink up my stamp so that I'll have the shadow behind the butterfly. And I want it to be flying off of the tag. You guys go off your tag. It's no big deal. You don't have to stay right in the lines. Color outside the lines. Glue outside the lines. Don't let the edge of your paper limit you. Go past it. So I did some cutting here. So I'm trying to decide what color to use for my leaf stamp, because I'm just going to stamp it directly on there. And that was Rusty Hinge, and I thought maybe I want to do kind of a brown, and that didn't work. So I decided that I would stick with a green, so I used peeled paint. That's always my go-to green for my distress inks. And I was like, oh, maybe I just want random bits of these leaves here and there. So that's what I started with, and it's so funny. I didn't even use a block, but by the time I inked it up, I wound up using the whole darn thing. So I should have just put it on a block. It's kind of funny. But I didn't want to just stamp a little bit of it and then miss an area that I wanted and then try to recap it, because I've done that, and then you got the double stamping, and sometimes it looks cool, but I didn't want to do that in this case. It's very faint because the background is green, but I fixed that, and I'll show you by coloring it. And I wanted the leaves just to be in the background, just real faint, because the focal point is the butterfly. And I just want it to just kind of accent a little bit. So, and then I'm always drying in between so that it avoids smudging as much as possible. I'm working all with water soluble things, so you just have to keep that in mind. So that's where I'm going to put that butterfly. But before I do that, I grab my paintbrush, a little bit of water, and I start painting in portions of the leaf stamp that I used. And I made this go, I think I edited this to make it go really, really fast. So, yeah, and if you were close up, you could see it a little bit better. But, and again, when I want more color, I use less water and just take the color straight from the tip of the crayon. And you can see the leaves better now, even though you're not close up. So, and then I just use the white crayon and add in some highlights there, here and there. And then off screen, I don't think I recorded it because the camera turned off. And look, I did all that. So, okay, there's the 3D effect. That was my accident, and you are not going to believe how I got that. So there's no dimension to it. It is an illusion. But in those leaves, I meant to tell you, I just used a real fine Sharpie and colored them in. So that is my liquid pearls, and I just did a video on liquid pearls, and this is how I figured this out. It's a dimensional paint, and I just did raindrops. And the reason why I say it was a mistake is because I put those raindrops all over, and after I did that, I was like, I don't like that. I just ruined my tag, and I really liked my background. So I was so bummed out. So after it dried, oh, I'm just showing you real quick, with a needle or a skewer, you can make your tips longer with your dimensional tape. So once my liquid pearls dried, I was like, gosh, I'm not happy with it, so maybe I just need to add some shadows around it, and maybe that will make it look better. As I was adding my, and that's a charcoal pencil, and I'm just rubbing my nib right on it. As I was doing that and adding the shadows to the pearl drops, it moved, and one of them popped right off. And when it popped off, it was lighter underneath and still had the shadow, and bam, there it was, a 3D effect. Total accident, because I was ready to give up and throw the thing in the garbage and start over, because I did not realize that my liquid pearls would pop right off of this gessoed page with watercolor crayons underneath it. I thought it would just stay on there, and it did not. They pop right off, and I'll show you in just a second. And I did these ones a little bit darker just so I could show you guys how to do it. So I just there they go. They pop right off. And you can save those if you want. I didn't, but you can, because these ones were really small. But how cool, I swear. The only time I come up with cool techniques is by a total accident and a mistake. So then I just rub it in a little bit more, just kind of highlight the shape a little bit more, and they totally look 3D. And then I just rub it real lightly. You don't want to do it too much because you smear it too much. And that's my white Jelly Roll pen, and I just need some inflection marks in like a curved, in like a backwards C, very slight, just so that it accentuates the curve of the drop. I think I missed a couple and I went back and did them. But there it is, total 3D effect. I was so excited when it came out. Ooh, that's so bright. But there's some close-up pictures of it. That is really bright. And it's a total illusion, but so cool. And anybody can do this. How easy is that? So give it a try. And thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate all your sweet comments, and hit the like button and all that good stuff. So thank you guys.